9 minutes to 7. Long after the deaths of Robin and Maurice Gibb, the Bee Gees remain one of the most successful groups in music history. Despite being born in the Isle of Man and making their names in Australia, it all began in Manchester, when the brothers were still at primary school.
Well, now the remaining Bee Gee, Barry Gibb, is visiting his hometown as part of the first tour since the death of his brothers. It's still a family affair. He's got his son on guitar and his niece singing vocals. So it was probably only right that he took them back to where it all began. And Colin Patterson went with them.
How you doing, all right?
Barry Gibb back at school. In the 1950s, all the Bee Gees were pupils at Manchester's Oswald Road Primary.
I was attacked by a dog right here.
Was you?
Yeah.
In town for a concert, he dropped in for a look around.
What were we thinking?
In honour of his visit, there were disco dancing displays, renditions of some of his best-known songs, and he even managed to find his old desk.
You remember where you sat?
Yeah, right here.
There was also a revealing question and answer session.
When you came to the school, you packed lunch or school dinners?
We used to have sugar sandwiches. Bread and butter with sugar, or bread and butter and tomato ketchup. And that's what we used to bring to school.
School time over, now for part 2 of the tour.
Well, this is 51 Keppel Road. This is the house we all lived in as a family, about 1956, 57.
Barry bought it back a decade ago and is now the landlord. A quick meeting with the property manager.
How's the roof?
The roof's okay, the outside condemned, a fair bit of pointing, and the chimney stacks needed to be...
Okay, but you know, you've just got to let me know.
Yeah.
His sons and grandchildren wanted to see inside.
All of the brothers and our sister, this is where we all slept. And there was a mantelpiece here. And the double bed was there, and the whole objective was to dive off the mantelpiece and land on the bed. Down there, inside that cellar, I used to make false guitars. I used to with pieces of wood. So for me, it was all about pretending to be a pop artist.
And the lights all went down in Massachusetts.
All those hits that you've written, 6 US #1s in a row you wrote. You were on stage last night. You're playing the O2 on Thursday.
Yeah.
And this is where it all started.
This is exactly where it started. This is the room where we first thought, well, let's try singing together. I want to be a pop star. And Maurice and Robin would say, well, oh, we want to be pop stars too, but they were like 6 years old.
So was your first ever band formed in this room?
Yeah, the Rattlesnakes. Yeah. And then it was Wee Johnny Hayes and the Blue Cats, and that didn't work either.
But now, 50 years later, he can't leave without even the neighbours asking for an autograph.
56, just there.
Okay.
Colin Patterson, BBC News, Manchester.
Trip down memory lane, eh?
Oh, and the music's still as fresh as ever. Still to come on Breakfast this morning. Ian Tibbets had been going blind since 2002. He had never seen the faces of his twin sons, but this morning we're going to hear about a revolutionary treatment to restore his sight by attaching a lens to one of his teeth and then implanting it in his eye. It is an extraordinary operation. Only one surgeon does it. And we're going to be meeting Mr. Tibbets a little bit later on to see how it panned out.
Quite incredible. Time now, though, to get news, travel and weather where you are.
See you in a moment.
Good morning. The owner of 4 dogs which mauled a teenage girl to death in Greater Manchester is due to appear in court later charged